What's up, Standout Runner? Shappy here. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Shoe Review. This time I have a 3-for-1. We're reviewing 3 different carbon race shoes, and they are all really, really good, which makes it really, really hard to decide which one to go with. I don't think I can even choose this one. So let's get into the shoes. Now, what I have here is the Brooks Hyperion Elite 6. I have the New Balance SC Elite 6. Yes, I will probably get these confused. And then I have the OnCloud Boom Strike 2. Now, why did I purchase all 3 of these shoes? Is because I have an addiction. It's a problem. No, but seriously, but actually, I do. Anyway, I've been looking for a long time for a perfect carbon race shoe, something that I can use for my half marathons and my marathon coming up for the London Marathon, and I'm mostly going to admit that I'm probably going to be closer to 4 hours than I am my old times of 3 hours. So I want a shoe that I'm going to be comfortable in, that's going to be stable enough to give me that time, not too out of control, and something's going to protect my foot because I am prone to stress fractures. So I need that protection for my foot. So these 3 shoes have been talked about as great options for this. So that's why I've been waiting so long to try these out, and I've put plenty of testing miles into all 3 of them, and I still am having trouble deciding. So we're going to talk it out together. We're going to talk about each one. So let's start with each one and look at them individually. So first we have the Brooks Elite 6. Now obviously the previous model was the Elite 5 because that's how numbers work. This one is going to run you 6.9 ounces, 198 grams, and for a men's size 9. So it is very light, super light. You have a flat knit upper, which almost looks like a woven material. I don't know how. It's strong. It holds your foot in place, but it is so comfortable. It's air. It feels like nothing's even on you. And then, of course, the star of the show is their DNA gold in a redesigned plate. This is much softer than the previous versions. And also, you notice they put more cushion here to really favor that midfoot to forefoot striker. And it's a really nice rocker to it. So this is a fast shoe. This is a very fast shoe. However, it's a very comfortable shoe. It's not too unstable, so it is a very good candidate. Looking at the upper, it fits very well. It's true to size for me. And I had plenty of room in the forefoot. It was said that there's gonna be no rubbing with this upper at all. You have some heel padding in the back with kind of like this nylon type material to hold your foot in there. I think it works super well. The tongue is super thin. I find it to be a little bit troublesome in the fact that it's gusseted on the side here, but here it's just like free floating, and that is kind of sometimes when I'm pulling it on, this gets folded in and stuff. But once you get it all set, it lays perfectly fine, and you're good for the rest of the run. All right, as I said, the midsole is a pretty much new design. It's super soft, bouncy. I get a lot of protection from it, and you can definitely go quicker for it. I will say this shoe is a great choice for all race distances. I can see taking this from anywhere from a 5K to a marathon and having no trouble at all. Of course, there's going to be some people who are elite who want a speedier shoe, but gone are the days where you say Brooks does not have a shoe to compete with the best because this is competing with the best. All right, so that is 1. 2, we're going to look out the New Balance SC Elite V6. And again, like the Brooks, this is so different from the previous version. This one's a much more aggressive. It drops down weight to lighter. It has an all-new midsole using their Hyperion foam and a carbon plate that you can actually see, even with a little cutout in there. You can see the carbon plate inside there. It's a much more aggressive shoe than anything New Balances have made before, and it's really nice. So let's talk. Let's start from the fact perspective. Blah, 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 words. Let's look at the specs. So this comes in at 6.7 ounces. That's just a tad bit lighter than the Brooks. It's 190 grams in men's size 9. You have 40 millimeters in the heel and 32 millimeters in the forefoot, giving you an 8 millimeter drop. I don't think I said that for this one. This one is very similar, but it's a 7 millimeter drop. However, they both have 40 millimeters in the heel. The Infineon foam is their new kind of like go-to foam, and it works fantastic with this shoe. And they have the Phantom knit upper that's very similar to the Evo SL XO if you've ever tried that. However, I really like it on here. Actually, I like it on the Evo SL too. It's a good idea. It holds it back. It's super airy. You're gonna see your foot. Most of these, you're gonna see your foot through them. This the tongue is just um, a tad bit thicker than the Brooks, so you're gonna have a little bit more protection there. Not much at all. They're both very thin. There is no gusset. I want to make sure I don't lie to you guys. Yep, the tongue is not gusseted, but it's pretty stiff, so I had no trouble getting the shoe on and off. The heel counter is really nice. The foam for this one, now some people talk about this being a full marathon shoe, and I don't think I would. It's definitely meant for a mid-foot strike shoe. Now I can be mid to forefoot. I'm a lot of forefoot, so I do hit right around here. So I'm just getting it. Now, when I try to run with the shoe, when I kind of change up my gait to run, get the best out of it, I get the best out of it. There's a lot of similarities between this and the Deviate Nitro Elite 4. It's even though it's 8 millimeter, it really feels like it has that like racing flat feel to it. So it's not a lot of frills and like tech to it. It's not a lot of tricks. It's just a fast carbon shoe, which is very different from their old version, which was considered one of the most accessible carbon race shoes. This is still very accessible. It's stable. It's super comfortable. And if you're running the right way with it, I think it can be a marathon shoe for choice. And now finally, we're going to the OnCloud Boom Strike 2. And of course, On always does things a little bit differently. So with this one, you have 7.4 ounces. This is the heaviest of the three. But like I said, not by much. You're not really going to notice and on your foot. You have 40 millimeters in the heel, so all three have 40 millimeters in the heel. This one, however, has 35 millimeters in the forefoot, so not only are you getting the most protection up there, you're getting the lowest drop. So beware that it's a 5 millimeter drop. Some people really like that. I'm coming to really like that. That 6 to 5 is like golden for me. However, some people might have a problem with that, so be warned. All right, so let's talk about the shoe. They have their kind of like plastic, I forgot what they call it, but it's like a very plasticky upper. Now the fit is fantastic. It's honestly like On always makes like the shoes I feel like they're made for my foot. I love the way it fits. However, I don't like the material. This like I wear thin race socks, so I kind of really feel that grind to it. It's not enough to cause me any trouble at all. I mean, it's very similar to what they have on the OnCloud Monster 3 Hyper, but obviously they made these kind of like holes bigger, so it's really easy to breathe through. You have a super thin tongue, but it is a bit more stretchy. It is gusseted, so that comes down really well. A little bit of padding in the heel. This is probably the most plush of them. And now let's talk about the star of the show, and that is their PIBA-based Helion HF. And what they did is they made this Cloud Tech Helion HF, which is this pod right here. Now, let me say, this shoe is best for your mid to forefoot runners, and it's going to be probably the slowest of the three of them. That does not saying this shoe is slow, it's just saying it's the slowest. It's very soft. And I'm not saying very soft for an On shoe, I'm just saying very soft in general. It's very stable. This is a fantastic shoe that I could recommend to so many people, and I think they would really enjoy it. Now, if you are someone who just focusing on 5Ks and 10Ks, then you might want something a tad more aggressive that was going to give you more feedback. So some people really like this shoe for the comfort and that it does give you a lot back. However, other people are a bit more, I want more direct. And that's fair. Everyone's looking for something different, right? So here are my 3 candidates for my London Marathon. As of right now, because they'll probably come out with more shoes. And I'm like, oh, I want those. But these are my candidates for running all my half marathons coming up in my half marathon shoe for the season. Like I said, each of them are really good. So let's look at the differences. First, always, let's consider the cost. Both of these shoes are $275. Both, in my opinion, are a bit overpriced. But again, that is where the market is now. 275 is like a typical starting place for most carbon race shoes. However, shockingly, the OnCloud Strike Boom 2 is $250. That is so low for an on shoe. Now, some of you might be out there, are you crazy? That's not low, that's expensive. Yes, but not in today's market. And especially for an on shoe, this is cheaper than other ones. So this is going to get it a lot more favorable to other people who might not have looked at on before. They'd be like, "Ooh, look at that price. That sounds good. Let's go with that." Of course, there's the LS version, which is a whole lot more expensive. That's a completely different subject. All right, so if I'm looking at price alone, I'm going with the on, and then take your pick out of these two. All right, so what do I look for? What am I looking for in my race shoe? I am looking for, first of all, I need a good 4-foot, mid-foot to 4-foot running shoe, and all of these are good with that. However, I would say the most cushion and most plush is up here, and the most response is right here. This one is kind of out for me. It's pretty firm up there. I could not handle this for a marathon. I need to do more testing with it. I've done like a 10-mile run in this one, and a couple of 10 miles runs, but I haven't taken it a full half marathon and really gave it like the full effort. I think I'd be fine with it, but I would probably be between one of these two, and which brings me to this one. I would say has more foam feel, more cushion, so I really like that. That is best for mine. So so this fits my running style the best. Obviously, very, very important. Now, also, I get it. You are looking for a fast shoe, so let's look at the speed. Which one's going to be the fastest for you? And hands down, that is going to be the New Balance SC Elite V6, followed by the Brooks Hyperion 6. Both these can be really quick shoe. I only say this one is faster is because it feels like nothing's on your foot. You can faster turnover. You get a little bit of that push up there, but it's just so direct that it's not waiting time for anything. This you have a little bit of a little cushion, and then it goes. So I think this is more of a snappier shoe, but this is not far behind. This one is definitely your slowest option of all of them. So if you're looking for a speed shoe to really tear up the course, the track, whatever, I say this shoe, then the Brooks, and then the On in last place. All right, so we have fastest. Now, next thing I worry about, what is the most stable? Because I am not that person who can run. The Puma Fast R3, no for me. So I like a shoe to be a little more stable, able to help me if my form starts to break down, or just be on my feet a longer time. And in that case, I am definitely going to go with the OnCloud Boom Strike 2. I just feel so solid landing on the mid 4-foot, and it is a very stable shoe. Next is the Next is the New Balance SC Elite V6. The reason why I say it is use a nice wide 4-foot there, and the way the foam is set up and the way the plate is designed, that it's very stable. I don't feel any wiggle room at all, so this is a very stable shoe. Probably you can debate which one is more stable, but however, I think this one's more impressive being more stable because of all the foam to it. The Brooks, however, look, it's a stable shoe more than most. It's definitely one of the more stable shoes out there. However, the big difference for me is that when I land, really put pressure on the 4-foot, get going, I feel a little bit of a wiggle, just like a little bit. Honestly, it is nothing. And if I had this shoe alone and not these, I would know for sure that this is a race day choice because it is ticks off so many boxes for me. But now when I run into those, I just can't help noticing that little bit of rocking. All right, so stability goes to here for me, followed by the New Balance, and followed by the Brooks. All right, we're getting close to it. So we have what's the fastest? What's the most stable? What's the most expensive? And then finally, what is the most comfortable? Because let's face it, you can have the best race shoe and race foam, but if the shoe's not comfortable, you're not going to run in it. Maybe. I don't know. Probably some people would take a very uncomfortable shoe for good speed. I'm not one of them. I'm carrying more of my feet, everything. So comfort wise, I'm going to give it to the Brooks. I love the upper. The upper is one of the best feeling shoes I've ever had on, and it's just like like the foam is a great step in feel to it. Like you feel how cushioned it is. It's got a nice rocker to it. It's aggressive, but not overly aggressive. It's just a very comfortable shoe that I would gladly keep on my feet for a long time. Um, Next comes the Phantom Fit. I really like this Phantom Fit, and I really like this upper. It's dialed in a bit more than the older version, but it's not tight by any means. It's a pretty solid feel overall. So thumbs up to that. And the foam, like I said, it's definitely firmer, but it feels nice. It definitely feels nice. You know, you don't need all these like super plush cushion shoes. It's nice to get something that's a little more ground feel beneath you. And last place is the On. It's not uncomfortable. I don't like this material. I just don't like that material. It bothers me. I mean, it works. It's not going to cause me any blisters or bad rubbing or anything. It's just I notice it more. I feel like this is a shoe on my foot. So let's take that away. All right, so we have that category done. Last one. Let's talk about design because if you're out there on race day, ready to book it, ready to set some PRs, you want to look damn good. All right, you spent a lot of money on this. I know your money didn't stop there. I know your money's going up to your kit. I bet you had an awesome kit that really goes with it. You know, your race tops, your race tights, or race shorts, whatever it be. Probably a cool hat, very cool shades. You're ready to go. You look like a pro because that's what runners do. So, what is the best looking shoe? And honestly, I love all these shoes. I love all of them. But if I had to choose, I would honestly go the Brooks. I don't know, it just looks so sleek. I love the way they did their logo. I think it looks really good there. You got the other one on the inside. This colorway is so clean. I've seen a red version, which also looks really nice, but just it just looks like a race day shoe. I mean, like you would see this shoe and you're like, that thing is fast, and that's how it looks, and that's how it is. So looks wise, number one for me is the Brooks. Second wise, I would probably go the New Balance. The reason why is again, it's got a really sleek design. I love. Look, I'm a big fan of like the highlight color with the white. So I love both these shoes. Just when you're looking at them, like which one looks more intense, it's gonna be the New Balance in my opinion. This is a fun looking shoe, but this gimmick I don't want to say gimmick. It obviously works, but it looks kind of dumb. But it's better than the old. It's better than having all the cushion underneath. So it's an improvement, but still, I feel like this one looks a little bit more sleek, a little bit more like you're ready to go. All right. So we've gone over all the comparisons. We looked at them several different ways. So which shoe am I going to go with? I haven't really decided yet. I need to test them more. I really enjoy them, but I can tell you this right now. Number one in my mind is this shoe. Now, I've obviously had my complaints about it, but that being said, it has a really nice cushion feel. It's stable. That's what is most important to me. The upper is fine. It's not too tight. It's really good. So this was my number one choice for my marathons and half marathon as of right now. The Brooks kind of fallen out just because of that little bit of instability, a little bit like I just feel like I can move a little bit more. And if I was doing a 5K, 10K in it, it would be perfectly fine. That being said, I also really like this shoe. In fact, I like this shoe so much that I am going to probably keep it. I'm going to keep it for my 5Ks and 10Ks and maybe just for track sessions. Yes. No, I don't. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. All right. Can't decide. It's a very hard choice. But I am going to say I'm going to keep this shoe probably for 5Ks, 10Ks, and probably some for some really intense track sessions. And I'm really going to enjoy it for that. I think it's perfect for that. Anything more, I don't think it's for me. All right, so here are my race day shoes for the rest of this year as of right now, unless the book changes my mind, but I'm pretty confident. Here we are. Half marathon, 5K, 10K speed sessions. All right. Now, I love these choices. I know some people are going to feel very differently about them, and that's what's great about running is everyone has their own opinion. So, with that being said, I hope I encourage you to go out and try one or two or all three of these shoes because either way, you are making a great choice. They all stand out. They all are A+ shoes in my opinion, and they all would fit in any person's lineup. With that being said, be bold, be fast, be you, and don't forget whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right.